Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Adeze Okezie, the live video visibility queen with emotic accent, and you're listening to the Style with Anna podcast, the one and only podcast about the many expressions of style. Find out how our exceptional guests turn their flaws into assets and how they define style from their own and unique perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform and kindly leave a one sentence review. Now, let us join the journey and meet the host, Anna in Style, aka the Style Medium.
Thank you, Daisy, for the lovely introduction. It's always a pleasure hearing your professional accent. So fun. Hello, Mary. So good to see you, and I'm so glad and happy and honored to have you on the Style with Anna show.
Oh, thank you, Anna. I'm so glad to be here on your show. Every moment that I see what you're doing and where you are, I just adore you. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. And same to you,
Received.
Yes. First, I like to ask my guests, from the top of your head, what are the 3 words that best describe you?
Oh, freedom, ease, and flow.
Oh my gosh, you're so fast.
Oh, well, it's true. I love being the essence of freedom. I love being the example of freedom, as you well know. But why not share with your guest? Anything is really possible. And I don't say that from the place of 3 dimension. I say it from the 5th dimensional, spiritual, just really magical place. We create whatever we want to create. We have the freedom to create whatever we desire.
Yes, and this is what I stand for as well. I always say, if you can dream it, you can make it happen. Otherwise, you wouldn't even remember or come up with an idea like that.
Oh, I say the same, not as beautifully as you do in that nice, lovely accent. But if you thought it, it already happened. You might as well go after it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's why I think that's why one of the biggest mindset. So I'm a soul mastery advisor, and I am the CEO of Divine Destiny Publishing. So I like to share voices. I like to share stories, but it really is that whole idea. So the whole mindset piece, don't visualize or think or play with the negative, because you're going to create it. If you thought it, you have the ability to create it. So those people that are always kind of in that negative platform, and they're always wondering why don't great things happen for me? They just have to learn how to think up great things.
Yes, this is the law of attraction kind of thing, right? And I heard that the universe doesn't take sides. It's neutral. And whatever you put in there, you always receive a confirmation. So be it, so shall be it. So when you say something is not working, so it shall be. If you say something is going to be amazing, so it shall be.
So it is. I mean, it's, I like to tell clients sometimes, and my daughters, and people that are close to me, because the way that you and I speak about it, just like this, people that perhaps the audience is listening, we make it sound so easy, but it really is that easy to say, oh, if my thoughts become my things, I'll just think great things. And I don't know about you, Anna, and I'm sure some of it, but a lot of how I've become in the last 3 to 5 years of really being in a fun, free flow is knowing that, realizing that hey, whatever I think, I'm going to act towards. And so I might as well just keep it all like going to the candy store, you know? I'll have one of those and one of those and one of those.
Yes,
And like you said, the universe brings it.
absolutely. And in the end, it is our choice how we're going to see it, and what we see, we put our focus on. I like to say, if a person is concerned about their shoes, sometimes, some people are concerned about their shoes, maybe they forgot to clean them or something, and then you worry the whole day, oh my God, my shoes are not clean, people will notice it, but the only one who notices it is you. And then you look at other people's shoes, although you maybe never did before, but because something is bothering you so much, you put all your attention to this thing that is bothering you. And of course, all the efforts, all the energy, all the attention, everything goes to this thing. So you might as well, think of something nice and put your focus there.
That's what I believe. Rainbows and butterflies. And as silly as it is, I kind of feel like it's returning to the innocence of that childlike nature. So why not?
Absolutely. And you touched something really important, because this childlike innocence is who we are in our essence. And when we are adults, we oftentimes forget this, because the society, the way we live, is teaching us, is unlearning us certain things that it would be better if we just kept.
It's so true. But even as I reflect back on now that I realize just how the words create the thoughts, which create the action, really knowing that like you and I do now, I can hear the things in childhood. Not that they affected me too much, but you were always hearing it. Grow up. Don't act like a child. Even when we were a child, you can hear parents reflecting that. Don't do that. Do it this way. Just all those things, just like anything, just like any program, just like the minute they said you started watching somebody walk so you could walk. It's that program. And to hear it, it makes us think, kind of feel guilt and shame if we want to play in the magic, especially as an adult, or stop daydreaming, or not to ruffle anybody's feathers, but think of those children that are big daydreamers. I call them the awake ones, or the indigo children, and the parents that didn't know how or couldn't relate, and these children ended up in some kind of medicated, disorganized, behind closed doors, and they're brilliant. But because, like you said, the society has tried to take that innocence of our child away so soon, it's just become such a scary thing for people to do. I'm not scared, so I just play like an 8-year-old all day.
Yeah, and people like you describe them, the children, they actually grow up in thought leaders and idea bringers, and that's always good. On the other hand, we have people who don't have ideas, and that's great, because they can match and they can create together, they can create amazing things. We are all born for something that makes us better than anyone else. It's just that we tap into this. And when we do, we create magic. We create revolutions. We create legacies. We create brands. And that is what makes us stand out.
Isn't it so cool?
Amazing. And the best part of it is that there is room for everyone. And when you step into your uniqueness, you don't need to worry about where other people are, at what stage they are, what they are doing, it becomes irrelevant. And the only competition is yourself.
And that's a powerful one too. I always like to help people recognize that sometimes is way more powerful than the external judgment that you feel, like always thinking that you need to compete with yourself. Or again, I think that stems from some childhood, just even teachers, it's not any blaming. There's no blaming in any of it. We're all just doing the best we can, right? With what we've learned, but just being, able to access that non-competitive clause in you that says, I just appreciate everything that you are. What I tell a lot of people, though, when it comes to that inner comparison, is just remind yourself every day that what's meant for me will not pass me by, because it won't. Serious, it will not.
I think this reflects really good at your projects when you do co-authoring books. Wouldn't you say that?
Yes. Oh, the many gifts of what the universe has delivered for me to share what I hear, the wisdom I gain from higher consciousness, the wisdom that people all over the globe are gaining from higher consciousness. And as you said earlier, Anna, about the brand, being able to create our own brand, being celebrated in these books that I create for stepping up and sharing your very own uniqueness. That's what we want to see more of. And I love being a leader in that. You said revolutionizing earlier, and the next project that we have launching July 22nd is Revolutionary Leaders. And without giving too much of it away, I get the blessing to channel the back cover and the intro and then my chapter. But when I was feeling into revolutionary leadership, what I heard was revolutionary leadership is the pulse of the promised land. The promised land is where we hope to find great happiness. And being that revolutionary leader, being that one that will stand up in love, in uniqueness, in self, and share unconditionally the vulnerable, the ideas, the aspects. It's revolutionizing. It's like you say, it's changing everything. It's the pulse of the promised land, the pulse, the very life of that which we all want to be, in the place of great happiness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's stepping into another dimension.
Yes. Yes. Oh, how fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are all ready for something new. I mean, it's already happening. And yeah, this is like a portal. It sounds like it.
And everything that, even just us connecting today, now that you've said that too is generating a portal for others. Just bringing it to life more and more and more, the reality of, like you said earlier, where it's here now, it's right in front of us. Whatever we want to create and whatever style we want to be in, right?
Yeah, well, the style, basically, what it means is what makes us unique. Mm-hmm. The most wide description of this, the widest meaning of this, as I like to explore it, for me, style is not just clothes, it's everything, what makes us individuals different. And because we know we have a different style in writing, a different style in art. When you look at it that way, we see that on every level of human existence, we have different styles that we communicate through. It is highly connected with communication.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we recognize people by, for example, I have an education in linguistics. I've been a translator for more than 15 years, and I have this ability to recognize people by their writing, by their style of writing. When I was editing other people's work, I could, without knowing the name, I could know that this copy was written by the same person. So this is how powerful it is. Our style is everywhere, and it's just how conscious we are about it. And the more conscious we are, the more we can do with it.
Yes. So much we can do with it.
Yeah.
I feel it's limitless. And, I guess the biggest thing that both you and I hold space for is people willing to step into that boldness, to step into their style. I know you do a brilliant job of leading that from all angles. That's what I love about your work. You look at it from all the angles. I play with color a little bit because I'm a Reiki master. And, if anybody that knows anything about that, we like the rainbow energy. The rainbow energy represents a different energetic set point, but the power of putting it all together, such as you would, putting it all together, I think it's brilliant.
And yes, the power of the rainbow, now that you mentioned it, it's transformation. The energy of the rainbow is transformation. It is changing your skin. It's definitely very, very powerful. So maybe this is why this method is so popular around me in my circles. I mean, everyone is Reiki master.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's like, okay. It's interesting. Now that you mention it, it makes perfect sense.
And
Doesn't
it fun? Yeah. I think the universe, I think God, I think source divine, whoever it is that you open your heart to, they wanted it to be fun.
Absolutely. Fun is the most important thing in our age now that we live in, because the generations before us, they needed to put it aside, and now I think it's becoming more and more a value. Do you have the same feeling?
I agree. I agree with that statement really wholeheartedly. I've noticed again in the last several years, I call the last 3 years just an evolutionary period for all of us. And I've noticed that the return of that feminine energy, that feminine Christ consciousness. And for me, about 3 years ago, the same, I had invited my feminine energy to come up and meet my masculine energy. If just a little piece on that is what I believe that those of us, that women especially, in my generation, we put on some masculine shoes to climb the corporate ladder. I spent 22 years in the corporate carnival, and we put on that very heavy masculine energy, and our little girl, our little princess, our little playful childlike phase, we kind of pushed back because, right, what do they say? Girls don't cry, and there's no crying here, and you've got to climb up, and you've got to be aggressive, and you've got to be, masculine. But again, 3 years ago, I kind of invited her forward, and I told my husband, really, I was like, sweetie, I'm asking my feminine energy to come up. So she might be emotional, and she might be, there just are going to be some things. She might be delicate and sensitive. But no sooner did she start to come forward, did I want to have more spontaneous fun. And I've done that. I mean, I'm living in 2 different cities. Just this last week for summer solstice here in the United States, we're celebrating summer solstice. Within like a week, I wanted to take a spontaneous trip to the beach. And we did. So I swam in her ocean for 3 days over summer solstice. But I mean, these are things that 4 or 5 years ago, I would have had to plan a year in advance. I would have been very, and then it would have been the hectic, even building up to it, are we ready? Is everything, and this was just like, no, fun is the lifeblood of my business. Because I've recognized it. If I'm not having fun, especially in my business and my publishing house or working with my clients, it's not making the impact that it's supposed to. And perhaps that sounds irrational for some of you, or irresponsible. I hope that it sounds irresponsible, because that's fun.
I love it.
I mean,
ideas are always irresponsible. It's their nature.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I believe you. I say so too. Fun. Again, coming up in that corporate industry, you get only 3 vacations a year. You have all these set guidelines, and they drive you nuts. I see it all over the world. They don't realize that all these guidelines that they have in their corporate palace are really creating a lot of resistance in them, because they're not free. So one thing, and I know you will recognize, entrepreneurship is fun. Because guess who makes the rules? And again, you could be really strict about it, and your frequency can be really like that, and you can struggle and strive to get clients, or you can sit back and have some fun and let the universe play in your business, your brand, and watch all the right people find you. And that's what I believe fun does. It's like that. It flips a switch in our energy, and people want to work with you because they can feel your fun energy.
Oh, now you provoked something.
Did I activate something?
Yeah, I think you did. You activated my storytelling spirit. Actually, I need to share this story. May I? You really activated something. You're brilliant. You create authors even if they're not. But what you said is like, basically, as an entrepreneur, you might as well sit in a cocktail bar, sipping your cocktail and waiting who comes by. And you can just say, okay, the seat is empty right now. Do you care to join me? Mm-hmm. And they can choose whether they will sit with you or they will go to another table because they have an arrangement there already. Mm-hmm. Or they may go to another restaurant or a bar, or they might as well just go for a swim because they don't feel like drinking a cocktail right now.
So cool.
Yeah, so I got this really vivid picture. I needed to share it because it's amazing and brilliant. And yeah, I mean, do you find yourself influencing people like that? Did you notice that when people think that they don't have ideas, but around you, they just get this creativity rush and start writing?
So I do call that, it is an activation. It is something that does happen in my one-to-ones. A lot of layers are uncovered, and one of those being of the storytelling. In fact, in the last book that we brought to #1 international bestselling, which was Sacred Surrender, I had a woman who was writing, a dear friend of mine too, and she was writing the story of healing herself from breast cancer. And she had waited till the absolute last minute, because she's a unicorn trapped in a human body. And that is what her bio says. I am a unicorn presented in a human experience. But she went to send it, and it was due in a couple of hours. She really had pulled it off to the last time because she really didn't want to tell the story, is the nutshell. But and then it disappeared. her chapter completely gone. So she calls me up and she says, Mary, I know my chapter's due in an hour. And I just lost everything. And I said to her, her name is Marlo. She is such a wonderful and wise woman. So you're going to want to go get the book now, Sacred Surrender. It's on Amazon. And I said, Marlo, what is it that you absolutely love doing? And she said, I love doing retreats. And I said, well, how about you just write a retreat? Because I knew it would take her, all this is just channeling through. How about you just write about that, what you love? And she's like, oh, that's what I'll do. I'll put a retreat in the book, an at-home retreat. 90 minutes later, she had a 2,000-page at-home retreat. So we were able to put this at-home retreat experience in the book ever for the first time, right? So I've never put a retreat. It's beautiful, but activated that in her because there's just certain questions, and I don't profess for any of this to be me as the human. It's the vessel of what I came here to be. And the biggest part of that is me being the example of what else is possible. I do it for my children. I just had a conversation not an hour and a half ago, is all of my people that are really important to me, we'll call them family and children, are already in this great place and moving through their life. And so it's always the universe, God, source, divine is always like, your role for these people is to be the example of what else is possible. So you just keep playing your 8-year-old self, and you're activating in others. You're automatically being the example of people instantly getting the vibration and realizing that something else is possible and coming up with it. It's magic.
Or a talent, or a
Or a
superpower.
Whatever. But yeah, it's wonderful. And I've had a lot of great clients and a lot of great writers, and every single experience will always be different, but I'm always there to be whatever they need to know. And it's been a very successful adventure.
So your clients, your writers, authors, they, would you say they are mainly established people who already write a lot, or can they be just people who think that they're not that good at writing, that they don't know how to express themselves, and so on?
I love that question because what kept coming through. So there's always a backstory with me. I'm a storyteller. So when I first finished certifying in yoga, this was 20 years ago, I remember the way that I would lead my class. And the first thing that would always come out to hope to make everybody feel comfortable is this: I teach to all levels. And it just kept carrying through my life with everything I did. If I was training somebody to do the management pieces of my corporate work, or to do this piece, I always knew that it was an early gift that I received. I teach to all levels. And so to answer that, it's the same with publishing. I am here to serve all levels. I do it with my soul mastery coaching, whether you're starting at the ickiest part of 3D mindset, or you've ascended to the 5th, 6th, or 7th dimension. I am able to be a conduit, a leader to all levels. And so I get about 50% of my clients have written a piece but never published. I get a lot of that. They've written a lot, or they've written a lot of content for their business but have never published. There have only been, out of the 70 plus best-selling authors that have been created through Divine Destiny Publishing, there have only been 3 that were already published authors. So And probably the other 50% has never written anything. And they just, like you said, they felt something that they knew I could activate something in them. And they can get a story across, and it elevates them in all the right ways. So I teach to all levels, and it works beautifully, even in the same container, which is super cool. That I could have, just like yoga, I can have 20 people that are in an advanced practice, and I can have 20 that are in a beginner or moderate. Same with writing, same with styles, same with where they are in their business. And they all get valuable experiences from it. Every single one of them.
Yeah, I understand this because they are working with their inner talents, each and everyone separately, and they could just as well sit next to each other. It doesn't matter. But when they work on their output, they work individually. So yeah, it is possible. Definitely.
I think it makes it more fun too, because as each and every one of us know, or perhaps you don't know, but I'll share, every part of it is growth. Every single breath, creation, idea, experience is simply just growth. And
Yeah.
so it's fun. It, again, I know I say that word a lot, but it's so important. Because I'm always learning too. We're always getting an opportunity to learn, but in the realm of things that light us up.
Okay, so now you how do I say? You mentioned fun. Would you say this is your signature word?
Oh, a signature word, a signature word, a signature word. Ooh. I think I would probably say, if I had a signature word, it would be freedom. Perhaps fun flows under the word freedom. Gosh, but Anna, I do say a lot, let it be easy, let it be fun. So I don't know. I wouldn't dare just pick one word.
I guess it all comes to the definition, right? It really comes to how you interpret that. I mean, why wouldn't it be fun? Why not? Is there
Right?
something wrong with this word? It has 3 letters. It's a perfect word. You can put it everywhere, even on your
It's
shirt.
fun, right? True. Used to be crazy. I think I will take fun.
Well, the choice is yours.
I'll take fun. I'll take
Anytime.
fun.
For me, anytime. So I presume you like collaborations very much, and you are an open person for collaborations. Do you have any way of collaboration that would be your favorite?
I have actually created my outside of publishing, because that's collaboration. I have created a collaboration networking group called the Portal of Prosperity and Potential. But what it is all about is coming into a space and creating partnerships with people that are really soul aligned. And yes, it has to be fun. It's a portal. It's a portal of potential. So my collaborations have to be very lighthearted and really authentic too, because we need a safe space to play in. So everything is play to me too. So I guess fun is my signature word, because everything I say, I'm so glad that I get to play with you today. That's what we're doing. For me, we're just playing. So it has to be playful. It has to be, real people, real time, real relationships.
That's powerful. Even if it's fun, it's powerful.
It's what we really I think for me, it's what I've yearned for, especially over the last several years, is having it and then having it taken away for a little while helped me to recognize just how important it is for me to be connecting with you, whether it be on the physical or through this, just speaking with our frequencies. It's so important for us to share together. And it doesn't, in fact, it's even better if we can hold a space for one another when we do have different opinions. Because that too, to me, is revolutionary leadership, that we can all come together with all of our differences, with all of our uniqueness, with all of everything that we are, and play together nicely without being offended, judging, criticizing, or condemning, just the real. Because we're all always going to be different. We're always going to differ in our opinions, damn it. We're unique. We all, like you say, have an individual style. Not one, two of us are the same. And when we can get to the place where we're already headed, I call it the place of unconditional love, where we can spend time together in our differences without being offended by one another. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's the promised land. It's remarkable.
Thank you so much, Mary. I've been really grateful and honored and blessed to have this conversation with you. Where people can find you will be in the show notes below. And if you can share one link where people can find you.
Will do. It's very easy. www.marygooden.com. MARYGOODEN.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Style with Anna podcast. If you like this podcast, tell your friends about it, leave a review and subscribe. This is your way of supporting us and telling us our efforts are appreciated. I invite you to take the Attraction Style quiz at www.chooseyoursignaturestyle.com, followed by a 5-day email sequence. You can go on a discovery journey and have a talk with your inner self like never before. If you would like to learn more about my speaker and guests, kindly refer to the links in the show notes. Listen, there is always time for transformation, even after a breakup, divorce, or turning 50.